Hey, my name is Nick Jackson. I'm in the recording arts degree at Full Sail, and in this podcast I'll be talking about some good old copyright law. Just as with any laws, copyright laws were developed to protect us. They were first established with the Copyright Act of 1909 in order to give artists ownership of their intellectual property. This set of laws introduced some exclusive rights, however there were some holes in their protection. They did not protect unpublished works, offered no moral rights, and didn't even protect all types of creative works. Enter the Copyright Act of 1976. With this piece of legislation, all creative works could now be protected, and even unpublished works were now copyrighted upon their creation. It is this piece of legislation that we base our copyright laws off of to this day. And for good reason, too. As our dear Constitution says, the Congress shall have the power to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. These exclusive rights are the rights to reproduce, perform, display, derive, and distribute. According to the laws in effect today, these rights begin as soon as the work is fixed in a tangible medium and last for the rest of the author's life, plus another 70 years. After that time, the work is released into what is called the public domain, and it is free for the taking to any and everyone. What our forefathers were saying with this article is that in order for a country, and even all of mankind, to continue to progress in a beneficial way, it is imperative that we be allowed to revisit our history and continue to pass it on, through whatever medium possible. Just as musicians have been creating folk music since the beginning of history, we should also be allowed to make folk art that builds upon the art of the past and presents it in a new, fresh way, so as to continue to pass it on from generation to generation. Let's take a look at some modern examples. That was an excerpt from one of my own personal works, and thanks to the Copyright Act of 1976, it has been under copyright since the second I bounced it. This is good for me because I don't want some clown stealing the song and posting it around town as their own work. The same applies to superstar rockers Kansas. They wrote their smash hit Carry On My Wayward Son in December of 1976. So this song is completely protected by copyright laws for a good while still. You may be saying, well, wait a second there, Nick. I hear this song all the time on the radio and even on Guitar Hero and South Park. Yes, you do. And that is because the authors licensed the song out to be used for money. This is another benefit to copyright law. On the contrary, one of the most popular pieces of art of all time is actually up for grabs in the public domain. Our dear Mona Lisa. Since she was born to Leonardo da Vinci circa 1519, she is fair game to the public, because there were no copyright laws in place at that time. This is why you have seen the work a million times, everywhere. Another piece of art you can help yourself to, as I did, is this classic piece that I used earlier in this podcast. This work was created in 1723. So once again, there were no copyright laws in existence at that time. This is why I can put this song in this podcast without getting sued or stabbed.